What's going on, everyone? I hope you're very well. Today we have a very short video and we're going to do a bit of maintenance in this terrarium that I have right here. We can see that this is a fishbowl and it's been growing nicely. I went for that ancient stairway kind of look that it's so popular nowadays. This has been growing for about a year now. It's seen better days actually. We got two main issues with this little terrarium. One is that there are microorganisms living in the soil that like to burrow and dig and move the soil. So we can see here and here that there are little mounds of the things that they excavate and they push out to the surface. So that's one. And the other one, it's not actually an issue, but it's something that happened. A little fern started to grow, and it grew and it grew, and you know, it's not so little anymore. So what we're gonna do today is plant a little bit more moss in this little guy, in this little terrarium, and we're actually going to remove the fern so that we have more space for the moss to grow. Uh, the moss that remains is going to be, well, this is the main point of this terrarium actually. So the moss is going to be take center stage, and this fern, I'm just going to take something to see if I can pull it out without making a mess. I think a paintbrush will do. And you have to excuse me about the video quality, but I'm fairly new. I'm recording in this space. Oops. We can see that the leaves are brittle. But I do want to get it all out, roots and everything, because we're gonna make a little moss ball with it, a Kokedama. Yeah, so it's better if we have the roots intact. So let's see. One second. So we're back. I was able to remove most of it, the roots intact, and we can see that in this little container. Here we have a little fern. We have the things that we need for our kokedama. Yeah. So we got the moss here. It's already hydrated. Let's take it out of the container for a bit. And there we can see that we got our moss. Kokedama, that's what it means, right? Moss ball. And moss grows very well in damp surfaces. So that's why we need the keto soil, or keto dirt, however you want to call it. There is a mixture of regular gardening soil and clay, and that gives us the surface that we need in order for the plant to have nutrients, but also to have moisture. Yeah. So we place it inside like so, like we're making a dumpling or some sort. I'm just gonna take it real quick. And we just shape it like a bowl, like so. Yeah. So I think this is not the best angle to work with this. Let me see if I can move the camera, but that'd be a bit difficult because my hands are completely covered in mud now. But yeah, you get the idea. So we continue shaping this. I'm just going to move the camera angle real quick. Okay, so like I said, we shape it into a bowl, and once we have it, we proceed and cover it with the moss. Yeah. I wonder if it's light is not helping us. What do you think? Better? Maybe indirect light like this? Maybe? Okay, let's continue. So the thing about this moss that you can buy at your local craft shop, like I mentioned before in my previous video, sometimes it comes dried up, but the minute that you water it and that you start to give it everything that it needs to thrive, it will spring back to life in no time. Yeah, so that's exactly what's going to happen with this little guy, or with this little pieces of moss. It's only a matter of place it strategically, like so, exerting a bit of pressure. So that everything is covered with the moss. Yeah. So we continue doing this, and we should have pretty decent moss ball by now. Only thing left is the bottom. This little piece of moss is a bit different from the rest, but it will still do. Yeah. So the next step for this would be to grab a little bit of thread. It could be cotton, it can be one of those, what do you call them? What you might call it? Yeah, it can be cotton, or one of those vegetable or plant-based threads that we can find and that are sometimes used to package things like boxes, like in the mail and such. So yeah, that's what we can use too. And we just come in and go round and round with the thread. And that just secures everything in place. You know, if there is a patch that maybe doesn't look like it's holding a lot of moss, you can come back later and apply a bit more. Absolutely no problem. So I'm just showing you this. This is pretty standard procedure, nothing new, but I just wanted to show you what I do with these little ferns that sometimes pop up. Yeah. So there we got our moss ball, pretty much ready. Yeah. Now it's a matter of putting it in a damp place. So now that we've taken out our fern from the fishbowl, we can see that we have that huge gaping hole and that our build has been devastated. So now it's a matter of coming in with a couple of patches of moss and filling out those places where, you know, we got no moss. Yeah. I think you can actually see here one of those little animals that I told you about. It's like a little millipede that goes around and round, and you know, devastates the whole thing. Yeah. So let's go ahead and do that. I got my moss here, and we'll continue working with this. So let's see if I can focus there. One of the patches of moss that I'm going to use is this one. See it here? This actually came with the moss I used for the moss ball. So pretty standard procedure. We remove some of the rhizoids so that the moss can come into contact with the water. Yeah, sorry. Sorry you guys. Yeah, but it's just a matter of coming in, placing it firmly on the surface. Yeah. We got another little patch over here. Do the same thing. And here on the side we will be using the same species of moss. So we also come in and place it there. So if we move to the side, we can see that we also have sorry, patches where old moss hasn't taken very well. So we're going to use some of the living moss that we have to continue seeding the build, the model. Yeah. Let's see. We got another piece here. I think 1 or 2 more pieces and we'll call this a day. This piece over here, this little patch. Over here. I think it's coming along nicely. So yeah, that's basically it. That was the purpose of this video, planting a little bit more moss. Making that Kokedama. Don't let that little plant go to waste. We can see that we got a couple varieties of moss that are growing here. They don't look like much. Look, this is the burrows and the mounds that these little worms make. But yeah, we can see that with time this is going to continue to evolve, continue to get better. And yeah, it's going to continue to look better and better. Yeah. There we can see a view of the finished product. I hope you liked it. I hope you have something that you learn after watching this. If you have any comments, questions, doubts, anything, drop them down below. I'll be sure to answer them. Okay? Subscribe, leave any comments that you want, questions, anything, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.